Hello, Lancer fans. Thank you so much for watching this very special season recap video for the 2022-23 Lawrence High School boys basketball team. It was a historic run, a very memorable season, one that I will certainly not forget anytime soon. So let's chop it up a little bit. Let's talk about the season that was. I am joined by head coach Moose Moore and a bunch of the boys from the team. I want to start off with the most positive moment in the season. In my opinion, 3 rivalry games against Central during the year. I was at all 3, and as a sports fan and a basketball fan watching sports all of my life, I don't think I've ever had that much fun just chilling at a game and watching sports. So was that your favorite moments of the season, or do you have any other favorite moments?
We have a ton. You know, I think any time that our team was able to get together was special to me. You know, we spend a lot of time together year round, but just being at practice every day and watching our growth from day one to the last game is always special. So for me, it's just like our nightly practice, just being there and locked in with our guys. Those are my favorite moments.
Draheim on consecutive possessions, tough shots, makes them both, but answering right back. Ryan Drunon knocks down the triple. That's a big shot.
So I think it was same. I'll build on what Coach Moose was saying. It was great just being around the kids, just being together, and it felt great to show everybody that Lawrence was here. You know what I'm saying? And I know like we win a couple games at the beginning, it's like it's supposed to be this way. But then when we start making the runs that we're making and we're winning the games that we're winning, it's like, dang, like we got ourselves a team here, and it just felt good that we were doing this together because it's a lot of work that was put into this. You know what I'm saying?
This is Delgado. Delgado, what a rejection! Igor Gonzalez.
I feel like for me personally, one of my favorite moments from the season definitely would have to be once we got the win for the Christmas tournament. I feel like that was like a really key like milestone that we hit during the season, and it helped us realize like we could really do something big this year. And so yeah, I feel like that was definitely one of my favorite moments.
I agree. That was definitely my favorite moment of the season because that was last year we were supposed to play in the Christmas tournament and because of COVID and stuff, we couldn't play in it. So being able to like win it that Christmas tournament championship, that meant a lot to me.
I definitely think the Christmas tournament was one of my favorite parts of the year, but I think my most favorite part of the year was when when we beat Central 3 times, like how he said. I kind of like that moment because last year it was kind of hard for us to get something going for us last year. So the fact that we came back this year and did something historic was my best part.
For me, I think my favorite moment of the season was when we played Central at home, because I think we were down like 15, and then we came back in front of all those people. So, and I was a part of that run too. So that felt nice to be a part of.
Para mí, mi parte favorita de toda, bueno, a mí me gustó casi todos los juegos que yo pude jugar en la temporada, pero en especial me gustó participar en el Christmas Tournament. Fue para mí un logro porque nunca había vivido algo así y fue algo muy especial.
Good defense. 3 Lancers get in the way, and on the other end, all the way to the basket, up with the left hand. It's up and good.
Let's talk a little X's and O's now. So watching this team all season, I noticed a few offensive tendencies, definitely some defensive tendencies like the full court press, but coach or others, did you have a favorite play that you ran or a certain offensive set that you felt like was your bread and butter and you really wanted to go to that in crunch time?
I mean, sets wise, we probably run more than anyone, but for me, it all depended on the flow of the game, depended on who we had going, who was playing well. We run a lot of stuff for our shooters. We run some ball screens for our ball handlers. we run some stuff for, you know, Toby or Igor to get some touches inside. But honestly, I think our best offense was when we would turn people over and get in transition. I thought that's when it was most fun, where it's not really something set.
Valdez underneath, it's blocked by Toby. Here comes Canary in transition, all alone, and he jams it home!
When we were dialed in, it didn't matter what I was calling. I could have made something up and it would work when, you know, all 5 guys on the court were on the same page. And when they were, we were very special, you know. When we had droughts is when, you know, guys were in their own worlds or thinking about doing their own thing. But when we were united as one, you know, anything that we called was really good.
My favorite play, probably Memphis for me, because I got to take the shot. So I'd probably say that's my favorite play, yeah.
Ocasio trying to break the momentum. Oh, what a shot. Jonathan Ocasio, cold-blooded.
Honestly, I have to agree with Coach Moose. I feel like our best offense came from defense. So every time we would, especially like with 12, I know it was like our go-to press, especially when we wanted to make a run, start getting a run going. So I feel like every time we was able to execute and we was able to turn the other team over, like no one could stop us in transition. So I feel like our best offense came from our defense.
I mean, I would tell the guys just run, like, get the rebound, and let's push it. I think we're one of the more athletic teams in the area, if not the most athletic team. So every time we got a rebound, it was just push that thing and get a layup, push that thing.
Beat him up.
Heat them up.
2 minutes to go in the game. The Lancers in transition have been deadly tonight. All alone at the cup. What a bucket there by Manasseh Perez.
I think my favorite play was defensively. We had to play 11. I think that was my favorite play because we would turn a lot of teams over off their main ball handler. So it kind of got us a lot of open runs when we needed it the most.
I think my favorite play, it was definitely 12 because I used to be up top and it was fun to see like the other team just throw the ball away. You feel me? And then I just know it's something was gonna happen. It's gonna be a dunk or it's gonna get the crowd engaged. I might go in too though. You never know.
Mi jugada favorita en la temporada era Fish. Yo subía de una cortina al jugador y bajaba, y si podía estar abierto, pues yo noqueaba la pelota y eso me hacía ver bien. Y sí, me gustaba mucho esa jugada.
So our viewers, the LPS Media viewers, the loyal Lancer fans, we're all watching the result of your hard work. We're all watching the broadcast and the in-game action.
According to the Boston Globe rankings, as well as the Max Preps computerized rankings, which do state rankings based on an algorithm, as Toby gets to the basket.
So now's a chance for you guys to tell us about the behind the scenes, the grind that goes into that preparation. So first, you got to tell the audience, what are 6 and 30s? Explain that to a casual basketball fan who doesn't understand the grind. But aside from that, what are your weight room habits, conditioning habits? Are there any sort of training regimens that you guys are on to try to improve your performance on the court?
So 6 and 30 is basically start on the baseline, and you have to run up and down 6 times in 30 seconds.
The 6 and 30s were cool, I guess. Like I didn't really, it wasn't really my thing, but you know, we had to do what we had to do because sometimes we would just run. We had to run 6 and 30s because people were, you know, we weren't locked in practice most of the time. That's why I think costed us a season sometimes. But
You know, I thought, you know, we came, you know, we had our COVID. We were like the only team in the league that wasn't able to play, and it was really hard on all of us, and including myself. So during that time, we were driving to gyms and to these random events and just going everywhere as a team. I think this is when this all started, and then last year we really struggled because we had a lot of guys who had never played before. The league was good. We had a lot of guys who hadn't played before, and all the things that I used to warn them about or tell them what's going to happen in practice, they didn't know me well enough, and that would, it would come back to bite us in games. We lost a lot of close games, and I think it helped us. I think it took a whole season to open our eyes up as to what we needed to do. And then starting from last spring, we were really locked in. The kids did track together. I coached, and every one of our players ran track. They were in the weight room 3 times a week. They were having study halls daily, during the season. We were doing, they were doing 5-hour workouts in the summer, 8 to 1. They were playing in tournaments every weekend. They played probably 12, 13 tournaments over the summer alone on weekends. During the week, they were playing in 5 leagues. They were playing 5 nights a week. And, there was days it was a lot, not only for them, but for the coaches who had to haul them around. But, it was a culmination of everything they did. And, to play for us, you have to sacrifice a lot. Coaches, players, anyone involved, it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of time. So it was good to see the reward, their fruits of their labor, and going out and showing that when you put in time, when you put in the effort, the results will come.
Just slashing through the paint. He's doing whatever he wants in the paint. Lancers get a turnover. Toby! Oh my goodness! Isaiah Toby!
But I was extremely proud. I was extremely happy with the season, even with the way it ended. I think old habits, they die hard, and I think some of the old habits we had from our first season together came back towards the end of the year, and there was a lot of things that hurt us. But again, I don't think there's a program in New England that works or puts as much time as our guys do. So I think it's just everything, So it was, we want to thank Jay Fielding at Pack Performance. He did a lot for the guys, keeping them, Pac-Man, keeping the boys sharp during the season. Dan Halloran and Ralph Carrero over at Sisu, always supplying us with rides or helping us with tournaments. There's, so many people behind the scenes.
Next question is a very, very simple one, but very important question, and that is for the coaches or the players, what is the best pregame meal or postgame meal? Either one you want to share. Tell us what's on the menu for you guys.
A mí me gusta comer mucho pechurina con tostones. eh, y beber mucho jugo de naranja. Natural.
My favorite pregame meal. We didn't do it this year, but it was anything Mama Moose cooked. I feel like anything Mama Moose cooked, it was probably the best pregame meal.
I'll just walk to the stand and get me a bag of Skittles. Had me energized and stuff, It's calm. It was calm, Had me energized for the game, and I was straight before the game. And some water. Always water.
A lot of fruits.
I never had a pregame meal. I just like drink water and try to stay in shape. But then for post game, I would just eat whatever I had home. Mostly rice and chicken.
All right, we can move on. Another very important question that I'm sure the audience really wants to know. What is the most popular locker room music? First of all, who gets to choose the locker room playlist? What are we talking? Lil Durk, G Herbo? Like, what's fresh? Get us hip.
Who would? It was mainly Braylon. Braylon would put it a lot of G Herbo, some Lil Baby, yeah, some Dirk. But what would get us, going before the games was a lot of drill music. I don't know a lot of drill. I don't listen to it. I listen to it before the games when Braylon plays it, but usually drill music would get us going pretty well.
All right, so the coaches and we've been trying to convert them to like Jada Kiss and Nas, Jay-Z. But every time we put it on, they're like, "No, what the hell is this stuff? Like, somebody got the ox?" I'm trying to switch it up for them, but they're into their G Herbo and who else is it?
Oh, Lil Baby.
Lil Baby. Yeah. Oh, who?
And who?
Oh, my bad.
I listen to some Ice Spice. That's my pregame. That's my pregame song right there.
Can you sing a lyric for us?
Nah.
A mí me gusta escuchar música que me lleve a las lejanías. Cuando voy a empezar un juego, me gusta escuchar Marco Antonio Solís, bachata de Romeo o alguna que otra vez War Baby.
For a lot of the people who are watching the games, just watching the broadcast, or even coming up into the stands, whether they're current students or former graduates, they don't get to see you guys as people, as students. They just see you as players. So tell us about your team chemistry, basically. Like, were you guys tight to start off the year? Were you guys tight and the off-season program, or did you kind of develop to all become boys as the season went along?
We've always been together. Everything we do is always together, whether it's going to a game when Moose brings us or a workout or, we're going to go play at it. I feel like everything we do is together. So I feel like team chemistry has never been a problem. It's always been there. We're always close, whenever we need each other. It's, we don't do that. But everything we do is together. We talk on the court, off the court, everything we do, it's all together.
Hands it off, Castillo. Brunon is open, can't get it to go. On the rebound, Marius Canary crashing the offensive.
I feel like ever since I've been here, just something I've observed is like team chemistry has never been a problem. Like even when like a new kid from JV, for example, comes up, they always feel like, like a part of us. Like I don't feel like there's ever been an instance where someone is felt left out on our team. So I feel like the team chemistry has always been great since day one.
Santana to the rim. What a layup.
You feel that like that's true there?
You'd be able to vouch for me, Derek?
What happened?
I said, would you be able to vouch for me?
Yes.
I would like to add on to Jonathan. Like we've always been together. Like, and also Moose, he would also take us to go to places just to build team chemistry. Like go watch games, college games, and stuff like that. So that really helped us be all together and know what a team is.
To be honest, I think all that running made us the closest. That's the main reason why. We was all struggling together.
That's true.
So yeah.
All right, next one, I got a quick one. You guys got a team group chat?
Yes.
Who's the funniest person in the team group chat?
Definitely Braylon. Yeah, I like to say Braylon. Also myself. And Marius is too funny in there too.
I feel like we could all just say Braylon. Like it's not even up for debate. Like it's definitely Braylon. But yeah, Marius is also up there. I like to just distance myself from all that drama because I know whenever I talk, they be coming at me. So
For the players who are graduating, what advice do you have for next year's team and for the juniors, sophomores, freshmen, for the players who are going to play next year? Like, how do you intend on improving for next year? How do you plan to hit the court and try to repeat the success that you had this year?
like right now, who have been a part of this team right now, because I feel like there's going to be a bunch of new guys on the team next year. I feel like it's important for them to kind of guide those guys. I feel like they should try to embrace that like leadership role because that will really help a lot. And also because they've experienced what we've already tried to experience before, so they already know what it takes. So yeah, it's just all about getting all the other guys on board and just making sure we do what we got to do next year.
For me, as the head of the snake days, they say, I think just like they've they've, most of these guys have been in the program now at least a year, 2 years, 3 going on 4 years. Just learning. I think we don't do enough of like learning from the mistakes of the guy, of the people that come before you, of the groups that come before you, and try not to fall into those same mistakes. So, I think that especially with, it's going to be every year your team changes, right? Your team changes, and sometimes for the better or for the worse or whatever it is. I think that we're always going to be competitive, but seeing like where did we see our shortcomings this year? What were some of the biggest problems or issues that, because every team has problems, every team has issues. What are some of the things that we can control, as returners, that we saw was an issue last year? What are some things that not only on the court but off the court, how can we improve and be better, teammates? How can you be a better player? How in situational moments where we failed as a group, and I self-reflect daily, but even just going back on the season, us as coaches, we sit down like, what are some of the things we didn't do well? What are some of the things we did well? What do we want to keep doing? What do we want to add? And, as they can tell, you guys have been here for more than 1 year. A lot changed from the year before to this year, and I think a lot will change, from this year to next year and so on and so forth, because you never want to stay the same. You always want to grow. Our philosophy is going to be what it is. As long as our personnel fits it, we're going to do what we do. But, how are we going to tweak and adjust and maximize, and that's the question, that's what I want to get out, maximize our potential as a group, maximize our potential as individuals. So.
All right, guys, got 2 questions left. We're going to really make them count. We're going to get deep now. How do you want this team to be remembered? Because there are going to be people, there have already been thousands of people watching your games, in person and online. Thousands and thousands of people watching your games. How do you want this team to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered for your work ethic, for your hustle, for your press defense? What do you want people to think of when they think of this amazing historic season?
I feel like we already kind of have that kind of reputation already as being one of like the most annoying teams to play against in terms of our grit, in terms of our effort, our hustle, everything. Like even like from other people from other schools, I've heard like, oh, like they never like going up against us just simply because we're always tiring them out and we're always outworking other teams. So I feel like that's something we should really like use to our advantage. I feel like we can make a mark for Lawrence as just a really hardworking team.
The way I want people to remember us is, I just want to be remembered as like the best team to walk through this building. I feel like probably from what I know, we're probably the deepest. I feel like right now we're one of the most memorable teams.
Now Ocasio to the near side, Rosario, left-handed drive, kicked out to Obi. Lowell with the board. Good defense stolen by Jonathan, into Perez. Gets the layup, and he's getting to the line with a chance for 3.
Back to a 5-point lead. Lancers 7, Blue Bombardiers 2. Stolen by Reyes to the rack. He draws the foul. Danny Reyes is going to the line.
To be honest, I want to be remembered as like a team that always had each other's backs. Like when we went down, we were still with each other. Like the other season, we went down, and then now we came back and we're still with each other. Everybody's still here, and we made history. So that's what I want to be remembered as.
I think we will be remembered as a team that persevered, because we go from winning 7 games to being the best team in the state all year long. The only thing we didn't do was cap it off. But we definitely will be that team that persevered to be one of the best teams in the state.
For me, I think is 2 things: our unity as a group. Even though we went through ups and downs, we had a really close-knit group, and I think people that watched us and that understood basketball and how hard it is at the high school level to get kids to buy into one goal, which is not an easy thing to do. I think that our unity as a group, and then number two, our resilience, because we could have easily just made all the excuses in the world the last 2 years, the last 3 years, and said because of this, that, and the third. But, we showed a lot of resilience, whether it was in a game, they talked about us going down big against Central Catholic and coming back, or, us in our final game against a really good Newark North team, we went down double digits, I think 2 or 3 times in that game, and just finding ways to claw back. We went down, we were down 12 or 14 2 minutes before the half against Worcester North, and we went on our 10-0, 12-0 runs, and just always fought, regardless of the situation, we always fought. So for me, it was the resilience and the cohesiveness.
All right, so I did save the most important question for last, and I'll introduce it by saying that the best part of my job as an English teacher is on the first day of school, year after year, I have kids come into my class and they say, I know you from somewhere. I know your voice. You broadcast the basketball games, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So they say, like, I was watching you back in middle school. I was watching you back in elementary school. That's a fun job. And so there are 7th graders and 5th graders and even 3rd graders watching your games and learning from you. So tell them right now, what is the advice that you have for those kids, whether it's about academics or it's about ball? What do you want to say to the young kids of this city who are watching you and growing up watching you play ball?
I feel like as long as you just listen with open ears, just be a sponge, you can pretty much do anything, you can achieve anything. So always be open to criticism too. I feel like that's a big thing, especially in this city. Like, I know like there's people who have difficulties doing that. So I feel like if you just try your best to, learn to adapt and just literally just listen to instructions and things, then you'll be good.
That's good. That's good.
I agree with Toby. I feel like always listen to people, and especially if you're a kid from Lawrence, we're always everywhere we go, we play, we're always the hardest workers. So I feel like if you wanna, for basketball, always get it done in the classroom before basketball. You should always be the hardest worker no matter what. Especially if you want to play here, because that's what we're known for here, is just playing hard. So always work hard. Everything you just do, give it your all. Always go 110%.
Yeah, I need to add on to that. Working hard is a big key to it because it can take you places. If you just do something at half effort, what's the point of doing it? So definitely putting 100% into everything you do is gonna take you to places.
Work hard, stay consistent. When you get here, just make your time worth it, because it really does go by fast. So.
Coaches, any advice for the next generation, perhaps your future players?
Keep dreaming, work hard for what you love. I have 2 examples, actually. Johnny was one of my students, and Adriel was as well. And now they're at the point of where they're just doing great, doing great things for this team. Really big part of this basketball team. So if you really want something, man, you got to work for it. And just remember, there's other people out there working just as hard as you are. So continue to separate yourself by just working. Your work is going to pay off at some point. Don't think it's not, because it's paid off for all of these guys right here.
You ready for the 6 and 30s?
I think my biggest thing is, with kids coming up, just, obviously everyone says you've got to work hard and you've got to do this and you got to do that, but stop making excuses. I think we have too many young men and women in our city that, like, everyone, I think, can attest in this room that grew up in our city goes through difficult times and difficult circumstances, I had a rough upbringing myself. We don't always have the best things or the nicest things, or we don't have the best experiences at all times, but that's not an excuse to not be successful. I think that we use too much of the things that happen to us or the things that we struggle with as cop-outs, instead of using them as motivation to push ourselves to be more, to push yourselves to be great. We're the city of, I'm telling you, I've been all over, the East Coast, and we have as much talent in our city as there is anywhere. But we don't maximize our abilities as students, as athletes, as artists, because we let little things derail us. So stay focused. Don't make excuses. And whatever you say you want to do, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a basketball player or a football player, you want to be a teacher, you want to be, valedictorian, which Obi Luciano is probably going to be valedictorian for class of 2024. Those are all attainable goals, and they're things you can achieve, but there's no handouts in life. No one's going to give you anything. Everyone in this room, every single one of these young men and coaches work for everything that they have. Nothing was given to any one of these players or anyone that's played for me. Nothing was given to me as a player. Nothing was given to me as a coach. Nothing was given to me as a student. And the same goes for them. The same goes for any young man or woman in our city. So you got to go out and take what you want, and you got to work for it. And like Coach Nieves said, there's millions of people out there working to do what you want to do. There's millions of basketball players all over the world. What are you doing to separate yourself? So just that. Don't make excuses, and continue to reach for the stars.
So I'd like to finish today just by very simply saying thank you. Thank you to the coaches. Thank you to the players, for the simple reason that a lot of people, including our producers, myself, my family, thousands of people in this city, across the country, a lot of people found joy, true joy in watching you guys play. And I think that might have something to do with your brand of basketball, the grit, the determination, the effort that you guys played with. So just on behalf of the community, we just want to say thank you for laying it all out there on the court and giving us the joy of really enjoying basketball the way you guys played it. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Coaches, players, thank you. Our producers, thank you so much for making today's video possible. And finally, thank you to the viewers, everybody watching this video. We hope you're feeling inspired, and we hope you're ready for the spring athletic season that we will be broadcasting here on LPS Media. For my crew, my name is Jay Oza. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.